Asian pilots I have seen from whether they be from Glitch, Liam Vickers, Ipsy Pop, and others I don't probably won't have to mention. So disclaimer here, these are just my subjective ranking. You can feel free to agree or disagree in what in the placement of these pilots. So yeah, that's about it. Here is a tier list. Let's begin. Let's begin with Pain Girl. It stars a girl with a cute demon voiced by Michael Kovac, who is probably known for being everywhere in indie animation. Let's just say this girl has a violent tendencies. It's a silly pilot with basically no plot. It's mostly just the girl and her pet trying to kill the police. So yeah, it's not one of my favorites, but I still watch it from time to time. Catching Up. Catching Up follows two high school characters, an introverted cat named Clay and his hyperactive mouse friend Rob, as they navigate a social situation at an under 18s club. This series is basically a slice of life, Tom and Jerry, but for people who are basically fans of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. For Alice Mark's first pilot, it's got great abstract backgrounds, some good comedy, and a good message to it, despite runtime being a bit too long. So it could have benefited from a 13-minute runtime than a 19-minute pilot. Sunset Paradise. A story of Maggie, a teenager who wants to have a vacation in the new island where she meets a blue octopus named Oribori. Now this is Glitch's second pilot. I haven't watched Meta Runner yet. Too, but I can appreciate its first time was the fact that it has only a limited budget and some stiff models. I definitely enjoyed this pilot for its simplicity and I guess and it kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing just a teeny bit. Ramshackle. Vinny Stone and Skip come across a baby and then a part of this is that Vinny Stone and Skip come across a baby and enter them into a pageant for money. Despite winning the pageant, the baby reveals something more sinister about themselves. They're an angel from heaven. So I'm a bit mixed with the target audience for this. Sometimes it's grounded and sometimes it adds some fantasy elements. The animation is good and the voice act is pretty great. I do like Stone, though he reminds me of Shadow the Hedgehog sometimes. Next we got Pretty Please I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. PPI Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl is an indie animation pilot that explores the idea of a magical girl named Aika who just wants to be a normal schoolgirl. It is a hilarious concept that could feel like a replacement for Star Versus. I like that one scene where the villain is beat up with a lead pipe, and I love that he even got the voice actor Alex Lee, the voice of Sung Jin Woo, to play the bad guy. I like how Kiki looks, who is the sidekick of Aika, and her new friend Zira, who's an introvert. I would say that's a hilarious concept and that you unexpectedly hear some swearing, so this is mostly for teens. I highly recommend this pilot though. Flip side. Getting tangled up with an excitable spider waifu named Cordy, who suffers from a validation complex to rival his own. Waylin, the main character, quickly learns his bold gunslinger talk leads to horrifying actions when put into practice by his new superfan. Now, this was my introduction to Liam Vickers before he made Murder Drones, which has a style of signature meta humor and horror. He also likes to create monsters, whether it's a pterodactyl and soon to be the absolute server. Cordy is probably one of his best original characters. That's because he's the best balance, like naivete and Ongazelig. Ongazelig follows the daily life of Maya, a socially anxious, introverted high schooler living in the Netherlands with her two adopted sisters, Coco, extroverted from South America, and Mimi, aggressive Dutch nationalist who's secretly Japanese. The series chronicles their misadventures and conflicts, often centered around Maya's struggle to cope with social situations. Now, this is probably the most. No, this is probably the oldest pilot in my list, dating back to 2011. And I still say this, while the story isn't special, I do like the character designs in this pilot. I do like the, realistically, Maya doesn't overcome being her introverted ways. Like it enough? That's why it's higher than the other guys. Next, Long Gun Gulch. Long Gun Gulch is this now the second Western show I watched. Long Gun Gulch stars two misfits, Snag and Rawhide, who are chosen as the new sheriffs in a strange town adrift in an ever moving dust cloud. I like Rawhide's design, the fact that she doesn't have a beam mat, and the villain too. He does remind me of Striker, and I like how the wacky fights are animated. I remember when this pilot came out, and some fans said it could fit in with the Cartoon Network era of Powerpuff Girls and Kids Next Door because of 2000 vibes. And yeah, I highly agree. This pilot just oozes of 2000 style, especially with its sharp line work, and its very wacky, nonsensical sense of humor. Homestuck. Homestuck is a tale of about a boy and his friends in a cursed video game. My friends, they play together. That's what the wiki says. To be honest, I have never heard of this comic until last year when Diamond Bolt discussed the Sharpie incident. It's a cute but messily written pilot. Since it's owned by Spindleroo, I was quite excited for the show and how they were gonna adapt the bajillion conversations in an animated format. It's fine enough, it's rushed, and I do like Toby Fox as John Egbert, and I love how they added the sound effects in the battle scene. And because it's only 11 minutes, it's not as good as it could have been. And yeah, some newcomers were confused with what the hell is going on. Hell of a boss. You know this, blah blah blah, hell of a boss. It's about three M's. One is the boss, Blitzo, and they start an assassination business. I'd say the jingle is fun and the shenanigans are fun. Introduction to the main characters, Blitzo, Moxie, and Millie. Now let's look at the classic Bibsy Pop swears and sex jokes here and there. But I do like how edgy it was. And to be honest, it's the first time I rewatched it, so it's good enough and somewhere between top 10. Art of Murder. The Art of Murder stars four drawings who come to life at night and in the end find out that the new OC has been murdered, hence the title. I like the fact that this is a musical and how they subtly reference Toy Story as well. It even stars Annie Tuber, Joey Bazinger as Sosuke, one of the drawings who always speak Japanese. Art of Murder is so good at setting up its premise, and I really like the voice cast and the many adventures you could do with this concept. I also like that the pacing here isn't rushed, unlike some pilots. Murder Drones. Murder Drones stars Uzi Dorman, a worker drone who meets a disassembly drone named N and who mistakes her for another disassembly drone. However, after he discovers who Uzi is, she mistakenly leads him to her colony, causing havoc. So yeah, we all know also the impact of murder drones is on my channel. So basically, I added so much murder drones fan content into every bit since episode one released. And I'd say the atmosphere and introduction to the world of murder drones still holds up. It's got a great blend of serious storytelling with light-hearted humor, and you can tell the voice actors had a blast recording this. I rank this higher if it were series, but since it's just a pilot, it's at this spot. Monkey Wrench. Monkey Wrench follows the misadventures of cutthroat mercenary monkey duo Shrike and Beebs as they cruise the galaxy in search of decent paying contracts. I've actually heard of this show when it was on its third episode. It's a really underrated space comedy show with Strike being a likable protagonist. And for first episode, they do like gunsling action and much like Long Gun Gulch, it could also fit in with the 2000s early Cartoon Network vibes, especially right there with the original Ben 10. It's funny, it's clever, and it's also got a good. So had these commercials too, so it could feel like you're watching a TV show. Next, we got Has Been Hotel. Follow Charlie as the Prince of Alice pursues her seemingly impossible goal of rehabilitating demons to peacefully reduce overpopulation in her kingdom. After a yearly extermination imposed by angels, she opens a hotel and hopes the patient will be checking out into heaven. So to date, this is still the best pilot from Spindlehorse. Controversy aside, this pilot's humor and characters do hold up, and you can just feel the passion from this. And yeah, I don't like it does suck that Baggy has more personality in this than in the actual show. But I do like the original voice they got for Alistair. The songs, the song "Every Demon Is a Rainbow" is still a banger though, and I do miss the Hitmar as the news reporter. Yeah, those are some things that I wish that was still in the series, but I just think as a pilot, the animation and the songs hold up so well. So the Gaslight District. The Gaslight District follows a crime gang composed of three undead and one girl who's revealed to be the only human in the show. Melancholy, aka Mel, is prophesied to be the black-blooded human who will be the future of the Gaslight District, and their blood will make them live longer and longer. Now, this story, despite being fast-paced, is the best-looking pilot in Glitch history, especially with its mutant mayhem style. I do like the father-daughter dynamic between Ken and Mel. It's basically the most memorable part of the show. I like the violence, and I do like that unlike Digital Circus, it can basically be as violent and as brutal as any time at once. It's got better comedy than, well, all of Hazbin Hotel and To Love a Boss. And yeah, the new thing is the fast pace kind of holds it back. So it's hard to sometimes tell what's going on in the third act. Knights of Guinevere, a dystopian series made as a middle finger to Disney from the Owl House creator Dana Terrace and their fellow companions Zach Marcus and John Owen Bailey. It stars bright-eyed mechanic Andy. It's about it's about a dystopian place where Olivia Park starts a Disneyland, and the Disneyland becomes so corrupted with greed, and she milks the power of the Guinevere androids dry, resulting in a chaotic terraforming of the planets. So the Knights of Guinevere must rescue the android Guinevere, which is trapped by her. The knights are named Frankie and their overworked BF Andy. Knights of Guinevere is such a huge show because it's how slow paced it is. It's a bit different from all the pilots because of its 2D aesthetic. Oh, and since it also focuses on how Disneyland has become a company that's so capitalistic and a villain who's obsessed with her robot that she never grew up. I highly recommend this pilot because of how professional it looks. It almost looks great enough as a Disney show. It's, basically the anti-Disney show. The Amazing Digital Circus. The Amazing Digital Circus is Glitch's best pilot so far. It stars a woman who has been transported into a chaotic world with a ringmaster Kane who watches all her every move, along with five others. I would say that this animation is one of a kind and extremely unique. It's viewable for all ages, which boosted its popularity. And I remember watching the trailer and said, "This kind of reminds me of Spirited Away because the main character forgets her name, not her memories." Now we all know that TDS is basically the one that boosted Glitch Productions worldwide, and that no one would that soundtrack and characters are all milked by those frickin' content farms. That being said, yes, this is the best pilot for me. It's got the best pacing, best hook, best hook, and of course, coloring is such. The visuals are so eye popping in colors. Like a Daisy, bit difficult from compared to all the pilots. Like a Daisy takes place in the 1920s America where alcohol is prohibited. So now the cats, who are humans in this universe, have to find a way to make a living. Now, I watched it because of the poem. It kind of turned me off when I first watched it, but after that, I think the 2D aesthetic and the sketch lines are what I'm a fan of. And I love the gun blazing action and how how ominous Mordec- Mordecai is. And Proziti's performance is top notch. I also like how wacky Gokovich is as Rocky, and the relationship between the orange cat and the black cat. I forgot their names. Pretty sure they were important to the story. I also just love how this pilot looks. Doesn't look like an indie pilot at all. It looks so professional, and there's so much Easter eggs you can spot in the show. I guess my only gripes is that I'm not really a fan of describing alcohol, and I do think that some characters don't have enough character introduction, which compared that to Hasbunatel is better at. And yeah, I still highly recommend it. So what is number one, Dave?
Oh, you don't like how we play? How about you stop spec?
Godspeed. Godspeed follows the journey of Iris, a young woman, and her adorable karaoke bot psychic named Bowie as they navigate the desolate landscape and abandoned homes of their crumbling world. Her path takes an unexpected turn when they stumble upon a mysterious podcast that holds their key to escape. Now, Godspeed is created by the legendary anime director Olin Rogers, who also made Final Space, which was unruly cancelled. Truly, I have no words on how it can describe this plot except feeling devastated. Anybody who has watched Final Space know that that show can make you laugh and make you cry so hard. Truly, this is my favorite indie animated pilot in YouTube history. Truly, a godsend, pun intended. Now, I just love the character of Iris and her personality. I love how high stakes her journey is, and Bowie is such a shining light in this dark and depressing world. And yeah, the animation is great, and it's probably one of my favorites that isn't from Glitch Productions. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.